Almonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.
And a lot is going on at this hour. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. First of all, we are following the returns that are coming in as we speak. If a winner is declared in either race in California, you will know it first, either in the governor's contest or the race for L.A. mayor. But again, we have a lot to get to. 800-848-9222. Number one, absolutely delusional. That is Jill Biden, the former first lady, making this declaration.
I would never want to put our family through that again.
But does he believe to this day that he would have defeated Donald Trump in that election?
I believe he would have beat Donald Trump in that election.
Absolutely delusional. The former first lady, as you just heard there, stating that she still believes that Joe Biden would have beat President Trump. Remember, President Trump went on to win every single battleground state against Kamala, and I believe he would have done the same exact thing up against Joe Biden, but perhaps even worse. Who knows? We'll never know. Biden got out of the race. Again, we're following the returns coming in from California. In the race for mayor there in the final hours, the incumbent mayor, Karen Bass, said that this election comes down to no time for amateurs.
Say no time for amateurs. We don't need a TV reality show villain, nor do we need a former councilwoman who has been in City Hall twice as long as I have and who is okay with tents in the street.
I have demonstrated my capacity for delivering results in my time as a council member and as a legislator that has led the city.
She says it's not time for amateur hour.
Agree. That's why I'm running. She failed us. She was in Ghana when she should have been the mayor and let 7,000 homes burn to the ground due to literal negligence.
And so we'll see exactly how that man does. As far as the polling, the actual returns, they're coming in as we speak. Again, should we have any information this hour, we will bring it to you immediately. And so when we look at something that we've been discussing, upcoming Freedom 250, right, the big event, a number of performers have canceled. One that is staying, that's going to be performing, and we want to hear from you this hour on how you feel about this matter. But one that is staying happens to be Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice, and here he's explaining why.
Tell us why you're still planning on performing, even though we've heard that from the president, when so many other performers are deciding not to.
I don't know. I can only speak for myself, and I'm proud to be an American. I was born here and raised here, and this is my country, and I don't like anybody telling me I really can't be proud of it. And this is a huge honor to play the birthday. It's once in a lifetime, 250. So I'm honored, and I just, I respect everybody else. I know there's a lot of tension everywhere. This whole world is like a snow globe, but it shouldn't be that. And music is here to bring people together, man. And, it shouldn't be that this music is dragged into politics. It's not fair, I don't even vote. I'm not a politician. I don't have the first thing to say about how to run a country or do anything like that. I think this is a huge honor. And I'm wanting to celebrate the country I was born and raised in, man. And we didn't take.
And so that's Vanilla Ice Baby. He will still be performing, and that is wonderful. We want to hear from you this hour on what should happen. We talked about this a little bit last night, 800-848-9222. I want you to listen to this op-ed writer at the Wall Street Journal discussing the socialist mayor of New York City, Mamdani and what's at stake.
It might have been not in keeping with what he has believed. But he wasn't mayor of New York. He now is. There's a certain kind of obligation, I think, representing all of the city's residents that comes with that. His animus, and I use that word advisedly, towards Israel, and often, I think, manifests itself towards Jews who support Israel. And certainly in the case of his wife, that animus is manifest many times in her statements. It's, I think, dangerous in the city.
And indeed, that is the case. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about Delaney Hall, Newark, New Jersey, that ICE, the center, at the center of politics for the last couple of days. You have these professional agitators out there. But the Trump administration, the good news for all of us, they are on it. From the Tom Homan, who is the border czar, to Mark Wayne Mullen, who is the new DHS secretary, as we know, and also a Republican congressman actually toured the facility. You'll hear what he had to say. Republican Jeff Van Drew actually went inside that facility. 800-848-9222. Let's start with Tom Homan, the border czar, declaring that there is zero tolerance for these attacks on ICE officers.
You put a hand on an ICE officer, you spit on an officer, you threaten an officer, you damage a vehicle, zero tolerance, you get arrested, you're going to be federally prosecuted. And that's what we did from day one. So I went up, there were two things, Sean. Number one, I want to lock down that facility. I want to fortify it. And also want to get the state and locals to do their public safety job. Kind of the same thing I did in Minneapolis. So we went up there. We put Jersey barriers in. We put embassy fencing in. We put pole cams in so we can film everybody that gets out of control and get pictures of them. We put additional spotlights up there. When we got done with that facility, there's no one breaking that facility. And if somehow they did, there's going to be a bad day. They're going to meet a dozen or more special response team members who are going to meet them at the gate, and it's not going to be a good day for them.
And that's wonderful news. It should not be a good day for these nut jobs that are out there protesting. 800-848-9222. The Secretary, Mark Wayne Mullen, former senator from Oklahoma, says, listen, folks, these are not peaceful protesters. They are rioters.
What happened at Delaney Hall?
Well, a lot of claims were made, and they just absolutely weren't true. The first one came out and said it was overcrowded. We have today, I believe, under 700 detainees there. It's licensed for just over 1,000 beds. We have twice the square footage at Delaney Hall than the state penitentiary does in New Jersey. They said that the medical condition was horrible. We have twice as much medical staff per person than the state penitentiary does in New Jersey.
What happened with the protesters?
Well, the protesters is interesting. The governor and the state officials were going out and saying that they were peaceful protesters and ICE was agitating them. That all changed when the governor finally allowed the state police to do their job. And by the way, they're professionals, and the locals there were absolutely professionals. When they came in, they quickly realized these aren't peaceful protesters. These are rioters.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, Republican of New Jersey, got to actually go inside Delaney Hall at 800-848-9222. The congressman appearing on Fox News. Here is what he had to say.
Well, just the facts, and I really dug in and we really looked at the entire place. Let me tell you, I was actually surprised how nice it was. I thought it would be okay, But I don't know that people know they have a soccer field there. They have a major workout equipment of all types. They have medical care. They have a physician there. They have a dentist there. They have nurses there. They have all kinds of food. If you're allergic to a particular food, they have food for those that are allergic. They have food for those that are kosher. They have food for those that are Islamic, halal. I mean, this is better treatment than people generally receive in most places wherever they go. It is shocking what the left and the Democrats are doing. They have created this situation by putting out completely false and untrue information that it isn't nice in there. It is clean, it is safe, it is nice. And I got to tell you, I meet a lot of people from around the world and around the country. The conditions there are better than 90% of the world lives in, and probably half of America.
Let's take a look at this from Nick Sorter, independent journalist who was out there. A lot of the video that you're seeing over the weekend was from him. And here he is talking about the situation and talking about, he talks about the fact that there were boxes of supplies that were coming in to help these protesters, which raises the question, and I mentioned this on the way in. Yeah, we're looking at these pictures of all of the supplies that were sent in. I mean, who's paying for this stuff? Who is sending all of this stuff to Newark?
Oh, we know. This is Antifa. This is the George Soros crowd. These are the people that want mayhem and chaos and anarchy in our country. These are people who hate America and don't want anything like the America that we know and love, for real. And I hate to say it. You know, if I had one wish, Martha, it would be that every single American could be in that facility and look around and see what's going on, because it just isn't true. The left is putting forward bad political theater, and they're just lying to us, and it's a shame. And it's a shame what's happening out there. I want to thank our law enforcement at all levels, local, state police, ICE. They're all trying to do a job to keep us safe.
Well, Hakeem Jeffries had a very different take on what he saw in there. It's also interesting that under President Obama, this facility was in use. I would imagine the conditions were pretty much the same back then, and nobody said anything. Thank you, sir. We've got some breaking news to get to. Good to have you with us.
And that was Congressman Jeff Van Drew, Republican of New Jersey, telling the truth about what's going on at that facility. Your telephone calls, line 2, Carlo in New Jersey. Carlo, good morning. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. Can you hear me okay, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Dominic, you're a cosmopolitan person. You understand New York.
Carlo, I got to take a break in 30 seconds. You got to get to the point.
No, fine enough. It's admonish our citizens who continue to vote against their self-interest. We have a governor of New Jersey who does not love our citizens, and New York is the same, and California is continuing the same. Pray that some sensible people get into office. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough, Carlo. Thank you. But it doesn't appear to be that way these days. I don't know what's going on with the electorate, why you're putting people in. It goes against common sense. Folks, as I mentioned, I've got to take a break. We see your telephone calls. We're coming right back. 800-848-9222.
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
And again, we are watching the returns as they come in out in California, the race for LA mayor, and the contest for governor. Should we get any numbers before this hour is over, of course, we will bring them to you. We are discussing a number of topics at this hour, including the violence at Delaney Hall, the ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey. Let's go to your telephone calls. Let's go to Fran, line 4, Long Island. Good morning, Fran. What's on your mind?
Keep up the great work, sir. Thank you so much. Listen, this is getting really, really ugly. I mean, first of all, before we get to the New Jersey, just really quick, the CNN, this Caitlyn girl, she had Bernie Sanders on, and she treated him like a king. She has Republicans on, and she treats them like garbage. She's so biased, it's disgusting. And then this Steyer guy in California, this rotten, no-good, low-life billionaire. Did you see him with the trans athlete? It was unbelievably disgusting, and it's nothing against trans people, but a trans athlete should not be in women's sports. I'm sorry, I got a train going by. But the bottom line is, it's to the point where you got to open up get the cameras in that Delaney Hall, and that congressman was right. They're lying through their teeth. Hakeem Jeffries is disgusting, despicable. We have to prove these people liars. Play the videos, play the tapes. We need to see it. Everybody needs to see it. It's disgusting. Keep up the great work.
Fran, thank you for the wonderful call. And coming up in just minutes, we'll let you hear, along with Fran's point there, what the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Democrat Ras Baraka, what he's stating as it relates to this. Of course, it's the end of the world if you listen to the Democrat Party and what Democrat officials are actually saying. 800-848-9222. Let's go to John in Nevada, line 3. Good morning, John. What's going on?
Dominic, I'll tell you, not only are the protesters oftentimes in Newark at Delaney not just peaceful protesters and they're violent agitators, but there's a whole other cadre of protesters, and these are people similar to the San Francisco mime troupe. These are highly intelligent, many with Ivy League degrees, thespians with theater degrees, and they seek to shape and format public opinion by doing performance art that they put on, that they seek to portray as real life. They know how to make it look like the police are being aggressive and beating them. They know how to flop like a basketball player taking a foul. They're highly skilled, these protesters. There's many different types, and the whole thing is to sway public opinion.
Right, and it's wrong, John, what's going on around the country, and we have excellent men and women of law enforcement, and you know, you have these agitators that travel around the country, and the congressman is right. They just hate America. They hate America, and they want to see America destroyed. And they go looking to provoke incidents, and it's just downright wrong. John, you have the final word quickly, please.
Yeah, their time is up, though. We're winning. We're winning.
And hey, I love that. The silver lining, John, ending this segment on a positive note. Because of President Trump, we are winning. Keep that in mind. 800-848-9222. And so as we get back to your telephone calls, and I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, Dominic Carter, here with you. But what is it like leading America's largest police force? The NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch testifying before the New York City Council, talking about several high-profile incidents that are coming up, public gatherings. And remember, it's her job to properly plan for each one. If she drops the ball one time, it can be a disaster. And if you listen carefully, she even jokes about a Taylor Swift wedding coming up, but I wonder if she was joking or not.
We've got July 4th, Sail 250, which is like the president's military parade in New York City, NBA Finals, World Cup, all as potentially Taylor Swift's wedding. I'm kidding. But all as overlapping events in New York City.
But I wonder if the commissioner was really joking, or did she slip and read what was on her notes that, Taylor Swift's wedding, there are rumors that it's going to happen in New York, that they don't want that out in public yet. And so, of course, we're also watching this hour, the results coming in, the race for mayor of LA, the race for governor of California. We're awaiting the returns. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, Catherine Trunk, and hello to your mom. Catherine Trunk says, at Dominic TV, ice, ice, baby. Good for Vanilla Ice. Hope Tom Homan appears on stage when the performer sings his signature hit on the White House Great Lawn. Love to see choreography with dancers too. POTUS, please. I agree with you, choreography. I agree with you, Catherine. John Beckman. This is what had me a little tongue twisted, because I love what John says as it relates to New York's socialist mayor, who happens to be Muslim American, Mamdani. John Beckman says, let's rename Gracie Mansion, where the mayor lives, to Porky Pig Estate. I love it, John Beckman. Thank you for that comment. That will put Mamdani in line. 800-848-9222. In a moment, you'll hear the other side, right? The other side of what Democrats are stating at Delaney Hall. But first, let me go to one or two additional of your calls, and then we'll continue. Let's go to Olena in the great state of New Jersey. Good morning, Olena. What's on your mind?
Good morning. Dominic, I wanted to share a thought in defense of Newark. For many years, for decades, Newark has tried to rise from its burning state. We have a beautiful hospital situation. We've raised the education level in the schools, the quality. We have the arts center, the churches, the neighborhoods. Newark has done so much, the community college, Rutgers University. And I don't understand Governor Sherrill. Is she trying to destroy Newark and Essex County? I was born and raised in Newark. I saw all of this over decades. I am surprised and maybe a little shocked and very ashamed of the governor for not supporting all the good work that Newark has done and go out and just join these imported street demonstrators. I don't know, Governor Sherrill, maybe shame on you.
Well, Olena, you said you don't know. I beg to differ. I think you do know.
I do know.
It's the Democrat way these days. I don't understand how you win by siding with these professional agitators, going there unannounced, calling out ICE, knowing that they're not going to let you in, even though you're the governor, because they know you have an agenda, right? And you literally blamed ICE officers for the violence that occurred there. Olena, it defies logic. Maybe you can explain to me why Democrat elected officials are doing what they're doing these days.
It's propaganda for their own names. And once they get the position through any which way they can, then they become the animals of the philosophy they were bought to follow.
And very interesting that you say that. Thank you very much for the wonderful call. So I'm going to, against my better judgment, I'm going to go to line one, which is Walter in Baltimore. And Walter, what's on your mind this morning?
Yes. Good morning.
I don't think we need to quibble this much. I will extend an olive branch, so you're free to accept it. I have no animus for you. However, I want to point out that I know you're no fan of Mayor Mamdani, and to be quite honest, neither am I. However, I think that Mayor Mamdani can have a role model in Elijah Cummings in Baltimore. Are you familiar with Elijah Cummings, Dominic?
I'm familiar with him. I'm not really that familiar with his politics, but why Elijah Cummings?
Elijah Cummings was a civil rights advocate and congressman, a very honorable man in Baltimore, many years. And I remember he was in the streets after Freddie Gray in 2015. I'm sure you remember that. He was killed. And Elijah Cummings walked the streets with the people with a bullhorn, and he kept people calm. And I think that it was disgraceful that Mayor Mamdani was not by the Israel Day Parade. And when I put those two pictures next to each other in my mind, I thought that Mayor Mamdani can do a whole lot of good by looking at Elijah Cummings, he's no longer with us. But that man was a good man, and I think it's worth looking up to him.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the call, Walter. Let me go to John, Staten Island, line 4. Good morning, John. What's on your mind?
Dominic, my pleasure. I'm glad. First time caller to your show.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I just feel it really short. I just feel that Mamdani must be hurt that a bridge was named after Ed Koch, and just to suit his ego well, I have a I got to get my breath. I just really think we should name 2,000 porta potties after Mamdani. We'll call it the Mamdani porta potty, so his feelings won't get hurt. That's all I have to say, Don.
Right. Well, I kind of like the idea, but we got to be a bit more graphic in the description of the porta potties. With Mamdani. Maybe, no, I'm not going to say, well, I will say it. I was about to say, if we're going to name it after Mamdani, let's make sure they don't have any toilet tissue at all. If we're going to name it after Mamdani. So, hey, thank you. Thank you so much for the call. So I mentioned, a few minutes ago, we started out with the Republican congressman, one of them in New Jersey, Jeff Van Drew, who got to tour Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, declaring that they have a soccer field and all these nice things, telling us the truth about what's really going on. Okay, so now let's go to the other extreme. Mayor Baraka of Newark, New Jersey, declaring that, of course, drama, that the detention facility should be shut down. This is what Mayor Baraka told CNN.
You're making a new push to shut down this facility. How is this time, this expanding of the lawsuit, how is this going to be different this time?
Well, the first time our argument was based on the code enforcement, UCC, our inability to have access to the facility, saying that some of the conditions may be inoperable and it should be shut down because they didn't go through the normal procedures. Right now, we have a letter from detainees that speaks specifically and outlines some of the conditions there. So we actually have plaintiffs. We have, the health department from the state and our health department demanded access and was denied access to these facilities. So we're expanding it now on health and human conditions that are in there. And we believe that it should be shut down because we have actual irrefutable evidence now that the place is uninhabitable.
So that's the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, doom and gloom. You talk to a Republican, they give you one description. You talk to a Democrat, they give you doom and gloom. I just don't get it with the Democrat Party these days. But I want you to listen to part of this report on Fox News, right? About the performers that are jumping ship for the big July 4th celebration for America. And folks, this makes no sense.
Cancel it. That's President Trump's latest suggestion to deal with entertainers dropping out of the Great American State Fair's lineup. The patriotic festival, set to kick off in the National Mall June 25th, suffering the sudden withdrawal of several stars after planned performances were made public last week. Poison frontman Bret Michaels writes, "What was presented to us as a celebration of our country has evolved into something much more divisive." Country singer Martina McBride states she also thought the event was nonpartisan, but, quote, "that turned out to be misleading." McBride did not elaborate. Event organizer Freedom 250 says it is nonpartisan, but it is tied to the White House. Critics point out McBride performed at the Obama White House in 2009. Now, in response on Saturday, the president shared, "I understand artists are getting the yips," suggesting he might take the place of these highly paid third-rate artists and give a major speech. Later Saturday, Freedom 250 announced President Trump will personally kick off this historic celebration. Then the president pushed the idea of canceling performances altogether, stating, "We should have a giant Make America Great Again rally for 250 instead of having overpriced singers."
If it's also a rally, that's fine with me. We've already bought the fireworks. This is a celebration of our first 250 years, with 250 more to come.
So far, Flo Rida, CNC Music Factory, Freedom Williams, and the surviving member of the duo known as Milli Vanilli say they're still in, as is Vanilla Ice.
Proud to be an American and proud and honored for this event. We don't take anything too serious, man. We're going to bring the 90s. That's how it works. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
While Freedom 250 is hosting certain events, there's also America 250, which was authorized by Congress and overseen by a bipartisan commission. John.
All right, well, there'll be some celebration of some kind. Alex Hoff for us. Alex, thank you.
And so that's the situation as it relates to that. Let's go to line one. Joe, I believe in New Jersey. Joe, what's on your mind?
In the facility.
Joe, I'm listening. Joe, I'm listening to you. What's on your mind?
Dominic, you got health inspectors that inspect those buildings, the detention centers, and pass them with a rating. And you also have fire inspectors that how many people are, the capacity of the facility. How come they're not showing the permits that they passed the inspections to show that mayor who's lying through his teeth about the conditions in the facility?
Mayor Baraka?
Yes.
Right. So the bottom line, Joe, as far as you're concerned, the way you see this at Delaney Hall is what? What's the bottom line?
Dominic, listen, today I called both Senator Kim and Senator Booker. And you know what they tell you? Well, we don't know. We'll have to get back to you. They take your phone number, your address, your area code, and when they find out I'm a registered Republican, I never get a call back from them. And believe me, when they're
wait a minute, whoa! You're telling me that's what happens?
That's what they do. You can't get them on the phone. You get somebody in their office, and they take down your name, your address, your zip code, and once they find out who you're registered Republican, I never get a call back. The only senator I ever got a call back from was the one in Pennsylvania. What's his name there?
Right, the one that reaches across party lines. Okay. Hey, you know what, Joe? If you want to call back from Cory Booker, why don't you put a flash camera in your living room, and as long as Cory Booker knows there's a camera, he'll be there. Hey, yeah, Joe, exactly. Thank you for the great call. Time for a break, folks. We are coming right back. I am looking at my Twitter at my ex D-Zoner just posted here. It's a tattoo. And he says, great substitute cover tattoo. If I saw this on one of my ER patients, I would be gloving up for a tick removal procedure. You know what's interesting, folks? I don't know about you folks. I've never been a tattoo person. Don't have a single one on my body. I don't really understand, is it, and then you had Mike Tyson that started that process with people having tattoos on their face. And I know some of the women have tattoos on their lower back. Some people have them on their ankles. I've never been a tattoo fan. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand, folks. Call me perhaps a nerd or old-fashioned. I just don't get it. I don't know. Benny, line 2, Bayside. Benny, what's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Carter. As far as all these detainees,
right?
Is there any way to look up their records? Meaning, how many times they were arrested in the past? Like this one for assault, or this one was found with a gun.
You know, that's an excellent question. I don't know if that's available for public consumption. But go ahead, Benny.
But once they were arrested, they had to see a judge at some point saying like, "Hey, you're an illegal alien." Now your record is open,
the judge
correct?
sees their record, right? The judge knows their entire record. Yes,
but it's not public knowledge.
But I don't believe it's available for the public, unless the authorities make it available. But why would you want it available?
To show everybody, like, hey, this is why they are being detained, and this is why they're going to get put back in their countries.
Not a bad idea.
Countries.
Not a bad idea. I actually like the idea. Thank you so much for the call. So you know what? I'm thinking about Stephen Colbert. Remember him? His show canceled, late night show, CBS. I want you to first listen to, this is Joe Concha, which is Soundbite 17. My Fox News colleague. He also does a show here on the radio in New York. And I want you to listen to, Stephen Colbert, he's a victim, Trump. Listen to what Joe Concha had to say, a reality check for why this show was canceled.
There's this utterly ridiculous narrative being pushed by many in legacy media, Democrats themselves, that Donald Trump ordered Stephen Colbert to be taken off the air. But as I wrote on this week in the Washington Examiner, there's some very important numbers to consider here otherwise, okay? The first number is 200 plus. That's the number of staffers the Late Show currently employs. I mean, can anyone explain why a program that consists almost entirely of two people talking across a desk needs more than 200 staffers? Because I can't get there. Second number, 22. That's the number of writers Colbert has to write his monologues, and that's according to the show credits. And most of those monologues, the days change, but they really don't, because the screeds are always against Trump or conservatives right out of Groundhog Day. It's utterly predictable. Another number, 1. That's the number of Republicans that have been invited on the show in the past 6 years. And, of course, that was the anti-Trump Liz Cheney.
So, very, very interesting there. Stephen Colbert, his swan song, I was going to play it for you, but I want to instead go to Vincent, line 1, New Jersey. Good morning, Vincent. What's on your mind?
Oh, from Brooklyn, Don, but I heard you talking about tattoos, and my father used to say in that regard, he would say, why do you want to brand yourself? What are you, a piece of cattle or something? Why do you want to put a mark on you? Because when you go down to the Selective Service like I did years ago, or even when you get busted, that's the first thing they look for. And on your draft card, they would put, oh, you have a tattoo on your right arm or left arm. And I'm on the same page as you. I know a couple of women who have tattoos on their arms that would make Popeye's tattoos look sad and everything. And to me, it looks ugly. It's one thing if you're going to put the name of your husband, the name of your wife or your first son or daughter, a little thing, on the top of your shoulder with just the date of birth or something like that. But there's some of these women that got, I'm telling you, they would put Popeye to shame, and I'm on the same page as you.
Hey, Vincent, thank you for the call. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Boop, boop. Dominic Carter here with you, folks. Folks, have a great morning. I am back at 3 p.m. Eastern. 3 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day.
One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.